Hi everybody, welcome to the lesson plan template. It's a video on showing you how to use this so you can have something to reference as we go. We'll start out here where it says team. For this template, we're not going to have everyone work as a team. Each person will be doing their own presentation and their own lesson plan. So here's where you want to put your name. Right here is title is where you'd like to put the title of your lesson plan, and that will give you some more information. I'll give you some more information later on. You'll be able to choose from 3 different subject matters. The second part right here is this concept map. That's where you'll be linking, it's a visual of all the key concepts and connections. And then the lesson plan itself is divided into 3 separate stages. And then it has a portion for notes and reflection as a post lesson, and then your references and your appendix. Right here is where you'll be presenting a link to your presentation. And as we scroll down, this first part here is where you would put your visual for your concept map. And there'll be instruction on how to make a concept map as we go. Then if you scroll down right here, stage 1 is the desired results. What will students understand? This first portion is where you want to put the subject or grade level that you are targeting. The second portion right here is the Iowa Common Core, the national standards, and that's where you will want to list those. Your transfer goals, we'll get those from the Next Generation Science Standards, and under the Next Generation Science Standards, those are listed as performance expectations. So that's where we'll get your transfer goals. Right through here, we'll learn a little bit more about the Next Generation Science Standards, and they're divided into practices, disciplinary core ideas, and cross-cutting themes. So we will learn that as we go also. You want to develop essential questions. Usually 3 essential questions is the good number. And this next section is where you'll present what students will know for knowledge, the vocabulary that you'll want your students to know from this lesson, and then the skills that you'll want your students to know. Here's where you're going to make a list of the objectives of what students should know, and that's going to be with your facets of understanding. The next section is for miscommunications, possible misconceptions, or difficulties. So that will vary by each person's lesson and grade level, of course. And then the last very section of the first section is safety considerations. What things do you want to keep in mind when you're teaching your students? How do you need them to be safe? Stage 2 is the evidence of understanding. How will you know that your students understand? So as we progress with this lesson and in this template, what we will do is we'll learn a lot more about formative and summative assessment. So the first thing we want to do is to test to see what the evidence of understanding is to test your students' prior knowledge. What do they know before they begin your unit? What do you need? And this can be done, as it says, both formal and informal. And what do you need to know? What do you know that the students already know before you start the unit? No sense of teaching them some things that they already know. And then this next section is formative assessment, and that's your check for understanding. And we'll be doing several formative assessments and teaching you how to do formative assessments as we go. And then this last portion in the stage 2 of understanding is the summative assessment, or that's where you test the students at the end, or assess the students at the end to see what they learned during your lesson. Okay, and then this next part is divided into, the stage 3 is divided into direct instruction, the 5E learning cycle, the engineering design, and problem solving. We will not be doing anything with problem solving, so we don't have to worry about that portion, but we will be doing an engineering design, and that's something fun we're going to do at the end. And that's where you talk about a problem what have others done, what are some problems you're going to run across, some possible solutions, planning. And this first column is what goes on during that the teacher does. Whoops, sorry. And then what are the students' actions during each one of these phases? And then finally, what are you going to do to differentiate? Okay. This 5E learning cycle, we'll be learning quite a bit about the 5E learning cycle. And the 5 E's are listed here: engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. And just like explained before, there are certain actions that are going to be done by the teacher, the student, and then how do you plan to differentiate? All that we'll be learning as we go. And then this direct instruction, that's something that we're also going to be doing for this. And it's broken up in a similar format: the teacher action, student action, and differentiation. And this is set up for what is the hook to get your students drawn into the lesson, the modeling, and that's broken into the I do, we do, they do sections. So there's each going to be what it's going to be looking like for the I do, we do, and they do is going to look different each time for teacher action, student, and student action. And then the wrap up, and then you're going to also list possible misunderstandings. And then the very last portion of this is the notes and reflection. And with that, this is what we're going to do with some micro teaching. There's going to be a little bit of self-reflection. What did you do that helped or didn't help the students? What surprised you and what was difficult? And that's just a little bit of a self-reflection portion. So I'm looking forward to teaching you this, and I think you're going to enjoy learning it. We're going to break it apart into smaller sections, so it's not going to be all overwhelming.